Hi, this is Wendy Walker. One of the greatest things about being a thriller writer are the other writers. I recently asked some of my writing friends to catch up with me on Zoom. Mary Kubica, Megan Miranda, Samantha Downing, and Lynn Constantine. So the first question I asked my friends was, if you had to pick a character to be quarantined with from one of your novels, who would it be? And if you had to pick a character to never be quarantined with, who would that be? Here's what they said.
Okay, the character that I would most want to be quarantined with is Colin from The Good Girl. So in The Good Girl, he actually starts by abducting Mia and taking her away to this cabin in Minnesota, which seems like a very odd choice for a person that I'd want to be quarantined with. But Colin has like really mad survival skills, and I think that that would just be a really good person to have to go through this with. And then the character that I would least like to be quarantined with is from my latest, The Other Misses. And it's a character named Camille, who is just not a very likable person. She's in it all for herself. She's coming after some other woman's husband. And so I think that she's just, she's very selfish, and she's not a person I'd want to be stuck with right now.
So I'm going to answer based on location we would be quarantined. So I'm going to pick to be quarantined with Avery Greer from The Last House Guest, because she's in this beautiful coastal town in Littleport, Maine. And I think it'd be great to kind of wake up and see the ocean every day. And then the character I'd least want to be quarantined with would be Leah Stevens in The Perfect Stranger, because she's in this really creepy house in the middle of the woods. And it's, already pretty creepy as it is. And her previous roommate also went missing. So I'll go with her.
The character I would most like to be quarantined with actually is Millicent from My Lovely Wife, assuming she didn't kill me. She runs a tight ship. We would never run out of anything. She would have everything organized, and I wouldn't have to do a thing. So that would be perfect. And the character I would least like to be quarantined with is from He Started It, and it's the brother, Eddie, who is really annoying, and I would never want to be anywhere with him for longer than about 10 minutes.
So the character I would most like to be quarantined with would be Jack Logan from The Network, because he has lots of great survival skills. He's super fun, good looking, all around your perfect hero. It's a tie who I would want to least be quarantined with in The Last Mrs. Parrish between Jackson and Amber. But I think I'll pick Amber just because she's so nasty and so duplicitous, and I just feel like she would probably take all the food and hide it and keep it all to herself and not want to share.
So for me, if I had to be quarantined with any of my characters, it would probably be Molly Clark from Don't Look for Me. She's a mother, a caretaker, and we find out that she's pretty good at getting herself out of some serious scrapes. The character I would least want to be quarantined with, even though I love him to death, is Dr. Alan Forrester, because he would probably drive me absolutely crazy with all of his theories about life and the world around us. The next question I asked was, what has been the best and the worst part about being quarantined?
Okay, so the best thing about being stuck at home with my family is just like this forced family time. Like my kids are 12 and 14, and so they're at an age that mom and dad are not cool anymore, and they really, under different circumstances wouldn't choose to have movie night every night with us. But it's really nice to have this time together. And the worst part about being quarantined with my family is just that there is always somebody around. As a writer, I'm a bit more of an introvert. I like quiet, and there's just always somebody by me, somebody needing something. And so it's hard to kind of get lost in my thoughts and focus on my writing.
Actually, my answer is very similar to Mary's. I think our kids are pretty much the same age, and they're both in middle school. And so it's actually been really nice to kind of have that time and reconnect. And we're doing a lot of things together. And like you were saying, we're having movie nights and we're going for walks together. So it's been nice to kind of reconnect with them like that. And then Kind of the same. I think it was easier for me to transition because I already work from home. I think it was harder for my kids, especially losing school. So kind of figuring out the routine between, work from home and school from home, and trying to kind of get that writing time aside where you can dive full in, has been difficult. It's been sort of an adjustment.
I am not quarantined with my family. I'm quarantined alone. So the best part about it is I don't have to deal with anybody, and I love it. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and nobody's asking me for anything. The worst part is, um, with so much time, I have become a procrastinator, and I am not a procrastinator, but now I can just say, I don't have to do it today. I have all day tomorrow to do it.
Best thing, yes, is the family time, spending, having family dinner, doing some game nights. Our kids are college aged, so even though they're home, they're pretty much sleeping all day and staying up all night. So the only thing is just keeping the pantry full. But I do feel bad for them because this was their first year of college, and so they're sad that they're missing their clubs and their classes, and so that's been the downside, is just trying to keep their spirits up.
I love those answers, and I completely agree that the best part of the quarantine has been having all of my kids back home and having this family time that we haven't had for so long. But like Lynn, I also agree that when you have college aged kids, it's difficult as well to watch them being pulled back from the adult lives that they had just begun. So, the last question I had for these prolific writers and good friends was, what is it that you miss the most about normal life?
The thing that I miss most about normal life is just was my family, my parents and my sisters, and hanging out with friends. My birthday was at the end of February, so like my last really good pre-quarantine memory is going out for too many margaritas with my best girlfriends, and what I wouldn't give to go do that right now.
I think we all really miss school. I never thought I would see the day where my kids are like asking to go back to school, but school is definitely, something that I think they in particular really miss, seeing their friends and having that structure. And like at the end of the week, I'm like, what day is it even? Like, I don't, what's the difference between a weekday and a weekend now? So, yeah.
The worst part is, just that psychological knowledge that you have to stay inside. You can't go do what you want when you want. You can't run to the store every day. You can't run to the gym. You can't travel. So it's just like psychologically being in a box.
Really miss socializing with friends, going out to dinner. Can't wait to be able to all be together again.
I will be the first person to line up at our favorite restaurant in town and hold our favorite bar table till my friends arrive and we get our bright pink Cosmos from our favorite bartender and catch up on everything that's been happening in our lives. And now here's what it looks like when 5 thriller writers try to take a screenshot of their Zoom session to post on social media.
2, 3.
Thank you so much, you guys. Let's catch up again soon.